Agnes Owens, Out of the Margins. Agnes Owens was born in Milngavie in 1926. Her life, ordinary in its struggles, extraordinary in its endurance, shaped fiction that refused sentimentality, exposed the workings of power, and gave voice to those so often overlooked. Marking the centenary of her birth, this year-long programme of exhibitions, creative residencies, workshops and talks brings together archival material, creative responses and reflections on the continuing relevance of her writing.
Thanks, she stayed strong, and she was very much the person who was an example to us about how to keep your head up, believe it or not. I was proud, very proud of her. And I talked about how my mother's writing a lot to people, and it meant something to me that she had got to that position of writing, but she didn't. I always say to her, you could be living in the south of France, especially with having a daughter living there. You could just escape from all the nonsense that goes on, all the stuff that goes on in the Vale. And she goes, I wouldn't abandon. She says, I live here, and this is the people I write about. So I'm not leaving that source, I'm staying close to it.
2026 marks Owens' centenary and also celebrates the launch of the newly established the Agnes Owens Archive, the first satellite archive housed within the Alasdair Gray archive. A collection of manuscripts, notes, letters and personal items offer a rare insight into her working practice. All have been generously donated by her son and literary executor, John Crosbie. These materials reveal a writer working with precision, intent and persistence, developing her craft over decades. The archive is not static, it is structured around her writing, inviting discovery, research and new creative responses. Agnes Owens grew up in a working-class household shaped by war, labour and economic uncertainty. She worked as a typist, a factory worker and a cleaner. She raised 7 children. She wrote in fragments between shifts, childcare and exhaustion. Her literary career began later in life, not through lack of ambition, but because time, money and opportunity were limited. Her fiction centres ordinary people living under pressure. Darkly comic and often unsettling, her stories refuse sentimentality.
Where are you going? He called. I replied, up country. At present I was not on the same wavelength as him, and did not fancy his company. To cover up I asked civilly, when for the boozer to open? He nodded, then offered me a can of lager. Collie always took it for granted everyone was gasping for a drink. Usually he was right. Reluctantly, I took the can, wishing the bus would hurry before I was sucked back into my familiar social life.
In the 1970s, a local writing group in the Vale of Leven became a crucial point of connection. There, her work was read and recognised for its clarity and form. It was through this group she met Liz Lochhead, who shared her writing with Alasdair Gray and James Kelman, who immediately recognised its significance. With Gray's advocacy, her first book, Gentlemen of the West, was published in 1984. But the narrative of discovery risks obscuring the years she had already spent writing. She was not created by opportunity, she was prepared for it.
It's a shame that she just didn't get the recognition, and I think there was a lot of snobbery in that as well, because she wrote about the culture in the west of Scotland, which when she was up and coming, that wasn't terribly popular, it wasn't trendy. She was very, very fortunate to meet Alasdair Gray, and he recognised that talent. He recognised she was special and encouraged her.
Owens' writing is grounded in the material world. Objects, cups, tools, prams, bottles carry meaning. They are handled, relied upon, endured. They reveal how class has lived, day by day, through the body and through space. Today her work continues to inspire new responses. Artists and writers return to her stories, exploring the same questions of class, gender, power and place. Through these forms, her writing extends beyond the page, into form, into space and into the present. Agnes Owens was often described as an accidental writer, but her archive tells a different story, one of sustained effort, revision and intent. Her work was shaped by constraint, but never defined by it.
She just kept on writing at her length, which was that one short story, novella, back and forth. Part of this is the necessity of what she could squeeze into the time that she had. You know, in terms of getting a piece of work done that she could complete in a couple of days or even a day, but then have to go back to work and be exhausted from running the family's affairs and so on. A lot of people don't think about this when they think about literature. They don't think about the exhaustion that someone might have in their life and how that might lead to the length of things that they've written. And it's quite something. You read a piece of writing and I cannot find a single thing to change, which is just, you know, editors love changing things. It's just, you know, it's just fantastic writing. And, you know, had she been born in a different place, in a different time, in a different class, you know, she'd have won prizes and, you know, everyone would know about her and she'd be a Penguin Modern Classic and all the rest of it. But that hasn't happened yet.
This centenary does not rediscover Agnes Owens, it restores her, a literary voice from the margins, now impossible to ignore.